Welcome, everybody. We have got a banger of a matchup for you today. Tricked versus ECLOT to kick things off here in, our Tuesday morning, I guess we'll call it. Lodios tapping away from the bomb site. He's under a bit of pressure. They're going to try and go for this boost over the smoke. Leaks. Ooh. Sent back the other way. So a two-man advantage. Tricked off to a little bit of a flying start here. Not the team that you're expecting to come out ahead here in this match, but a good start nonetheless. MBQ denied at the door. It came a little bit close for comfort, but they get it over the line. So a force buy here for ECLOT. They didn't get the bomb plant in the pistol, so they are going to be sort of strapped for cash a little bit. They still have a go at this. Leaks tries to get aggressive into mate. Super slow here, though. That clock. Burn a minute on this clock. Now we'll start to work their way over. Execute out onto B. Flash is a good. Queenix. Fully blinded. Should be overwhelmed here, but how many would he take down with him? 1 for 1 for Nodios. Queenix won't get anything. Leaks will, though. And the spray right down. It'll allow the scout to follow up. The smoke obscures the vision of Daitor. Can't provide that support from above. And it'll go 2 for Tricked. It's a decent start, the entry. Yielded some success, but quickly whittles away. So 2-0, round number 3 should be a little bit of a breeze, a freebie here for ECLOT. Scout. Flung away. Flashbang. Big pick. Daitor gone. It is just an eco round, but with a scout, you're not expected to take them all down with you. And to be honest, a bit of a blessing in disguise here. If they lose a weapon or two, they're going a little bit heavy on the bonus. The last thing you want is to be going into a proper rifle round against AKs and having... yeah, scout and 2 MP9s. Link's getting aggressive. Like he ends up being the first to fall. It's actually the MP9 to dispatch of him as well, which is an awkward way to go. That's the one weaker weapon in play. Nix has one as well, looking to put it to good use. Nix can't get anything more. Over-aggresses there into main. Valuable information, though, with 25 seconds on this clock, to know that they are still lingering. Means it's likely going to be an execution at the end of the day. Salazar misses a key shot. That's going to allow Eli to press right up. But Salazar doesn't miss twice. Trades are still decent. 4C onto the site to tap down this bomb. MBQ will wipe out the site denier. Queenix in from behind, taken down as well. A nice little 3k out of MBQQ. The first on the board for ECLOT. Remember, this is their map pick. They're the favourites in the series. They should absolutely not be losing here on train. Of course, it's only a shaky start after narrowly losing the pistol, but need to make sure they nip it in the bud as quickly as possible. The last thing you want is your opponents to build up a momentum and an economy. See right now. That AWP. I think he just got a kill. There we go. I'm back. It's frozen again. I'm sorry, guys. This my feed is 2 FPS. I can barely see what's going on. It's a good entry, though. It seems like Trick just don't want to touch this anymore. That economy kind of broken. If they lose this round, they'll be on an eco in the next, and they know that their chances are limited. Their current positions and the man disadvantage, no kit, hardly any util. This would be no easy task. So, round number 6. Looking like things might tie up here. We will see. As I say, that economy not doing great here for Tricks, but everybody staying alive in that last does sort of do them some favours. It's an interesting approach to this one as well, that Queenix doesn't buy at all, and they don't invest any util or anything like that. So they're kind of in a position where they're saying, right, we've got like a good buy here, but if it doesn't work, then we'll still have a buy in the next. Rather than sort of committing too heavily. I kind of like it. I kind of like it, but I also feel that they'd have some real equity in this round if Queenix had a 5-7 in armor, and if they did have a little bit of utility and maybe a kit, something of the sort. Alright, Deepest, I'll give you that. That's a new one. Valde doubling up. 4C getting one back. Is System doing any EPL today? He is not. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think he's been doing much of it recently. I'll get into white. Oh no, Mikey. This round shouldn't be coming as close as it is. 4C with the bomb planted and leaks. Seemingly position known as long as 4C doesn't get cold feet, second guess it. And it's nice and easy to just pick up that last. Tie things back up at 3 apiece. You'll be following me around now that you know that I read chat. I always read chat, man. I always read chat. Unless it's some, like... I mean, to be honest, even on big broadcasts, I got an eye on chat just to see what people are saying, but I don't interact with it. But you know, these kind of streams, I'm always reading chat. But you guys got to keep me company. You guys got to keep me company. I got a 2 FPS stream and a tier 3 game. You guys got to keep me company. Let me know who's bet on what, who's supporting what teams. "28 more kills, 4C. That's wishful thinking, but it is early days. Is it a CT or a T-sided map? It's kind of tough to gauge at the moment. Seems very dependent on like teams and playstyle. Historically, it was always super CT-sided. They've now tried to balance it out a bit, make it a little bit T-sided, with the way that, you know, they've moved the train outside of A main, so like entering out onto A is a little bit easier and things like that. But I would still say inherently the map is CT-sided just because of the way that the rotations work. You can rotate so quickly through con as a CT for a retake. However, I think stats-wise, it has actually favored the T's on a pro level recently, just because basically every map in the pool, like the stats came out after Bucharest the other day, and like almost every map just ever so slightly favored the T side in terms of like round distribution. So that's just kind of the game at the moment, with the CT cash being just completely dog shit, and MR12 Elive somehow managed to carve a bomb plant out of this. Drops the smoke, give him a little bit of space. Now needs to swing into the Elive, and an instant headshot. Flashes out Nodios as well. Tries to go for the trade, but misses out. The Elive will know exactly what's up, but does he know that he's crossed to the right? Ooh, suspects it and reads it like a book. What a clutch out of the captain and IGL. Normally the weakest link on this team in terms of firepower, but he doesn't show that there in round number 7. A big pickup. That's a good round. Used to play this map on 1.6. It was tough to play T-side. It's changed a lot since then, but yeah, I guess the same principle still applies, that it's tough to play T-side because, you know, if you... Like on any other map, if you go for, you know, some kind of early aggression onto the A site and it doesn't really work, and you say, okay, well, let's pull it back, let's rotate round to B. You've got a lengthy rotation. They can just bounce between con, right? If they've got an A anchor, they can just bounce between con. And the second that the B player like hears any kind of info or util comes over, the con player's there within 3 seconds, right? Whereas, yeah, on any other map, if you're talking about Inferno, for example, you're a anchor on Inferno. The T's decide to pull it back, rotate back through mid. You've got a huge rotation through CT spawn. And it almost sort of roughly the same rotation time, so it's a big commitment to rotate. You can't just bounce between the 2 sites. Train in that regard sort of quite reminiscent of a map like Overpass, where you can do the same in Bank. Contact in there in long dock. Elive's the one to win it. Try not to get overwhelmed by the pistols, my friend. That's a little bit easier said than done. Shotgun goes 1 for 1, but... Ooh. Oh, they still popping heads. Does eventually get traded. It is just on Tenodios. He's found himself an AK, though, so... Definitely a little bit of equity in this round. People will be pleased to know Mikey's woken up in this one, too. It is only kills against the pistols, but now he'll be tested in the 1 versus 1. For the round here, Mikey, it's been a slow start, but he gets handed it on a silver platter. A freebie with his back turned. Mikey's timing perfect. And ECLOT will make it 5 after a good start from Tricked. It is all falling away from them. And this is such an interesting team, right? This is a team that formed at quite possibly the worst time. Yeah, they formed just as we went into the VRS system. I'm sure that the cogs were sort of turning a little bit before we transferred into that VRS system. We knew it was coming for a little while, to be fair, but yeah, it is definitely the worst time to make a new roster. It's a team with fantastic pieces. It's a team with huge potential, you know. You've got 4 of the 5 players on this team having played a major and played at sort of some kind of tier 1 or tier 1.5 level. You've got Leaks, who's come in as that sort of new young firepower, and he's a super talented player in the Danish scene with tons of potential. You really do expect this team to be a top 50 side, at least. And they're just not. They're just not. They've had okay results. It's not to say that they're necessarily like massively struggling. They've beat some half-decent teams recently. They took, you know, a win against NIP a couple of months ago. That's quite noticeable. But yeah, because they're just like not getting invites to tournaments and things like that, because again, VRS makes it tricky. They're not even within the top 100 at the moment. They're just sort of slowly but surely climbing their way up. In terms of the VRS, they're 207. So they're getting these ranking points in non-VRS tournaments for the HLTV World Rankings, and, you know, that's starting to climb a little bit. In terms of the VRS rankings, they're so far out of that scope that they're just, you know, they're not getting any invites, and it's a double-edged sword, because then it means that they don't get any points. It feels like the only way that they can is when open qualifiers come back around, or open LAN events and things like that, and they can go and get involved with those sorts of events. And maybe studs climb their way up. But for now, this is just what has to suffice. And it's crazy that they're going tit for tat against a team like ECLOT. It's going to go 5-4. And ECLOT on the other side of the coin. A top 50 side. A team within the world ranking sphere of VRS as well to qualify for some of the bigger events. A team that only very, very narrowly missed out on the MRQ qualification for the major. Here we go. Fast play back into the B site. Oh no. It was a well-timed nade from Valde as well. He's just hit a weird clipping brush on the train. Bounced right back at him. It's alright. It shouldn't have too much bearing on the round, but always awkward. But yeah, you're right, this map is completely different now. I don't think it's too comparable to 1.6 train. As I say, there are parallels for sure, but yeah, 1.6 train was wild. It was wild. I kind of hate the fact they've killed Old Bomb on this map. Just made it like this really weird, redundant space. I think that's something that they might change when we see this map kind of reshuffled a little bit after the major. I assume we'll see this map sort of rejigged a little bit after the major. But yeah, I'd like to see them open up something towards Old Bomb there. It just feels like a really, really redundant space. But yeah, 1.6 train. You could see under the trains, shoot each other in the legs. Oh, man. That's the most tilting map. So 4C in the E-Live. I'm going to just save here. There's no point in throwing themselves into the blender in this round. And there is kind of enough money for their teammates to buy around them. So seems like we'll see a decent force up. Long time playing CS since you were a kid on 1.6. Fair play, yeah. Time flies. Gotta get back on it, though. Gotta get back on it. New train is gonna blow your mind. Look at the graphics. Beautiful. I love to hear it. Yeah, get it downloaded. Leaks aggro into main. Deep smoke. And he's just going to play behind it. Fire might actually cause him some problems here. It will. So as he flushes out, E-Live's there from Pot to take care of him. But the trades are brilliant. Salazar follows up with a three-piece of his own. And just like that, Tricked bite back down. And make a light snack of Dynamo ECLOT. Forcey on his scout. Couple of Mac 10s, a Galil, a Deagle on Daitor. This is a gross bite. But it's all that they can muster for the final round of that half. Leaks just up on this boost. It's a filthy angle. It's one that's difficult to deal with. But it's also kind of an awkward fight for him. He sees their legs first and has to be quick and concise. Otherwise, they just take a back step and you only get off with about 30, 40 damage. It's a good early warning call. The cheat. Tad premature, Mikey. Flies out. Gets. I don't even think it was legged. I think he just gets caught through the edge of that train. It doesn't matter. The M4s, the rifles are there to follow up. Forcey trades back one with the scout. And a big old tag onto Leaks, but nothing more. It's going to be 7-5 here for Tricked. And a half that comes in bursts, in waves. No trading of rounds. I thought when ECLOT took their 5 in the middle, they'd just steal the show. That's what's expected of them for a team of their caliber, but being tried and tested here in this one. They're now going to play on the back foot, but over on their CT side, you expect them to have a little bit of an easier time. We'll see. They did seem a little bit lost on that attack, to be completely real, especially in the rounds where they didn't have all the firepower. Very much felt like they were just super stagnant. They were sort of waiting for CT aggression that just didn't really come. Tricked played quite a passive setup there on both bomb sites. And anytime they go for those later executions, they were just met with resistance. A brick wall posted up by Tricked. Second half pistol, worth its weight in gold. A fair bit of util here for the CT side, but it's only from MBQ dropping it over. Everyone else with the Kevlar. It's Mikey to draw first blood. And he actually follows up a whole load of damage for Forsey to finish off. One more leaks. The trade on the bomb site. MBQ under pressure. Relive's going to be the one to alleviate it. Valde all by himself. Not long for this world. ECLOT keep that very clean and put a 6th on the board. Queenix. Fast pace. And a complete tempo change. It's going to send them right into this B site. And the Elive's the only one that really has any relevance now as he comes in from CT. Daitor at least wins one. And there we go. Mikey can now be activated. This is where the SMGs just outshine those Tech 9s a little bit at close range. Mikey will do exactly that. Mouse 1, full W, nice and easy. Eli follows up. And Valde will be the last on the chopping block. So winning the round, 3 players staying alive. ECLOT, just that little bit better. And following up nicely. What's been a good start. Good start to the second half here. For the boys on ECLOT. For Tricked, it was a force buy in that last round. They did manage to get the bomb plant. Remember, they didn't get the bomb plant in the pistol rounds. That's why it was only Tech 9s. They did manage to get the bomb plant, which gives them a little bit of extra cash, but it's not really enough to properly buy here. So, yeah, we'll see like some upgraded pistols, but the proper investment in the next. Daitor. Mikey. Aggro into Long Dog. I feel weird calling it that, but that's what we're calling it now. Oh, love that. Great boost activating over that smoke. No Dios. Yeah, it's only good for the one from it, but from a situation like that, 1 kill, it's fine. Nice little break-even point. They'll come away with a smile on their face, but a round deficit as we sit 8-7. Mikey. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. B-Horse Crunch. Working wonders here for ECLOT. And this is where, you know, it is a slightly different approach to the CT side. We didn't really see Tricked get as aggressive as this on their defense. And things work nicely. ECLOT changing that up. It really cooking for them here. But the problem is that they're feeding leaks. I don't know why Mikey's gone as hard-pressed as he did on that flank. But an unwinnable situation now boils down to a 1v1. And it feels oh so winnable. I said before, the young superstar. The talent that they've brought into this roster that felt like Trick needed. to go with some of the experience. It's 16-9, and he looks to make it 17 and tie things up at 8 apiece. Forsey, I was just praying that he'd walk into the B site. That's of course not going to be the case. Leaks will now have tons of legroom to get this C4 planted. Forsey's going to realise so late. And he's now not got the right gun for this. This is a terrible round from ECLOT. Absolutely tragic to lose one like this. But it has to be dead quiet on the rotation, so he's going to waste tons of valuable time. He has got a kit. He's got full util. Not that that's going to make much difference. It's going to be so difficult to flush out leagues. He's not even going to play for it. That's it. He's just going to save, really? Oh, my God. That is a tragic round out of ECLOT. A huge mistake made. I think it probably is the right call from Forsey to just save at the end there, but my God. That is not one to be losing. So, tricked back onto a buy, but 4 players dying in the last. It's just 2 Galils. Sorry, 3 Galils surrounding the 2 AKs. Valde out on the entry. Salazar's there with him. And in unison, they just pop the heads on the bomb site. That'll be the round going their way. Forsey and Eli having to just go and save again, surely. Flawless round. No mercy shown. No chance for the save there. So tricked with the lead here, and they should be able to extend this further as well. As we go into round number 18, it's just going to be an eco for ECLOT. Hang on a minute, because they've actually managed to materialize something here. The pistols have found 2 kills. MBQ's got an M4 out of it, and Daito with a bit of Kevlar. might try and spearhead this retake. I can't imagine that they have too much success as they walk into the blender. Nodios' final bullets will get it over the line. And MBQ, last man standing, does convert one, doesn't have a kit, should just back off and save. That's an expensive round for Tricks, but one they'll still win.
Terrorists win.
10-8 we go. Valde. Big early pick. Live and Daitor to bite right back. This is chaos, guys. This is round after round. ECLOT just pressing for this aggression. We saw it punish them last time round. Right here, it works in their favour. So it really feels like we're back in business now. Rifles for both sides, kind of. Salazar down to that Galileo Queenix. I don't think we'll see anything more than just this Desert Eagle. So double digits hit. Trick to want to extend that further. They are 3 away from this finish line. They want to just get there, whether or not it be stumbling over. Or breezing through with their head held high. This is their opponent's map pick, and it'd be a huge win to convert. And Leaks with a double entry. Single-handedly taking matters into his own hands. It's a triple and a quad. And hungry for an ace that Forsey will try his best not to let him have. He wants to back away and hold on to that AWP, but it's all the Leaks show. It doesn't even matter what else is going on. What the rest of your team are doing if they just support you with a util. And you send the young gun out to do all the heavy lifting. I can't believe he's found that second kill.
Terrorists win.
ECLOT kind of all or nothing here. Trailing by 2 now. They lose this round. Tricked it 12. And ECLOT hit a bump in the road when it comes to the money. Mikey. Big swing, big kill onto Valde. Needs more, though. Every single round, it feels like the initial duel goes 1 for 1, and then Tricked just steamroll the rest. MBQ fighting, holding on. Daitor's tucked himself into con. He's kind of leaving his teammate high and dry. Then makes the sound cue to pull Nodios' attention away. And that's where MBQ will swing and finish off that third. Beautiful stuff for the 10th. ECLOT step up to the plate when they need to. Things going back and forth and staying expensive. Really does mean economic turmoil for both of these two teams. So pretty much all the bells and whistles here for the CT side, and Daitor straight off the bat. 2 big kills. We're kill feed casting. We didn't see it. They were probably good. Easy picks out onto the A site. A 2-man advantage here to try and take an 11th. Tricked. Still scratching their heads. MBQ here in the corner. With any kind of sound cue, he will peek. Sees the shadow. Oh, it's a big fight. It's a big win. Controls the spray. Salazar round this corner. Wants to just drop a molly. Force MBQ back. It won't send him packing. It'll just keep him stuck on the other side of this molly. Whether or not he re-aggresses after is another question. Up from Salazar. Wow. All right. Well, beautifully played out of MBQ, sort of forcing Salazar's hand, saying, well, you're going to need to deal with me eventually. As soon as he tries to, it all goes wrong. Leaks left by himself then. 24 and 12 he currently sits. He's going to have another stab at a crazy clutch. We've already seen one pulled off this map, but no chance for another. MBQ denies, ties the score back up, but more than likely, we will see this lean the way of ECLOT. This has been far from themselves. This has been a shell of the ECLOT team that we are used to. The only 2 players really stepping up and giving us a standing performance is MBQ and the eLive, but bizarrely, I mean, other than MBQ, MBQ is, you know, a solid player that does often put up decent results. But the eLive's a pretty unlikely one to, you know, be having a really good game. And your two harder hitters, Mikey and Forsey, who are supposed to be putting up those big numbers, are having a real quiet day at the office, especially Forsey down on 9 kills. MP9, we're going to try and follow up. Mikey wants to add to his tally and add to his impact. Daitor's there to pick up the pieces and clean up after the trade. It is just the eco round from Tricked, but only the single kill and taking that MP9 out of commission. May not cut it for them. I think they were hoping for a bomb plant. Mikey, blessing in disguise. To lose that MP9 and killing 2 pretty much pays it off. $600 a piece for those kills. So 1,200. Yeah, he just falls short by $50. He's happy with it. That's the round. That's to reinvest the Kevlar. That's fine. M4 in play. Kit, bit of util, smoking a flash. The rest of his team bolstered up with all the trimmings. Daitor. Up close here to main. He's going to go and join Mikey. In pop. He's actually just bouncing between the two. A little indecisive. Sort of bumps into Mikey. Goes, oh, you need my help? Mikey's like, no, not really. It's been smoked off. He's all right. I'll go back over here then. Don't you worry, broski. Eli's the one that's about to be challenged. Oh, no. Oh, that's a bad time to step as well. Salazar probably should have heard that. Only hits the leg shot. And it's Daitor, Mikey, and MBQ. 1, 2, 3, sucker punch. To shut this round down. Unlock Tricked out of a game that felt signed, sealed, and delivered. How on earth they have let this slip is just beyond me. I have high hopes for them on Dust 2. This wasn't even their map pick, and they've kept it remarkably competitive. But sadly, I think this is the end of the road for them. Leek's still alive and kicking. He's kicking and screaming right now, though. He's doing everything he can to keep his team afloat. And it's another 2K. But the plant denied. There's nothing Leeks can do without his gun in hand. Nodios able to trade it. But MBQ in from the flank will close. Leeks was your top fragger there. I think he had about 27 kills. That was a monster game from him. But sadly, not enough. MBQ stepped up in a big way as well on the other side of things with 24. I don't know how many deaths he had. I didn't quite catch it before we switched over. But a formidable performance and a great comeback there from Dynamo ECLOT. But a good map for both teams. As I say, I really do think that Tricked could maybe pull it out of the bag on Dust 2 and give us a reverse sweep or at least a 3-mapper. We'll have to wait and find out though, folks. We're going to jump to a short 10-minute break. When we return, we'll be back with that second map of the series. Don't go too far. You certainly don't want to miss it. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. We are just about ready to go with our second map of the series. It is Dust 2, and it is the pick of the boys on Tricked here. They had a very, very close affair there in that first of Train. Arguably, they should have been able to win it, but just narrowly missing out. Now they've got to try and return the favour, reverse sweep this. And it is not going to be an easy task. Valde, Queenix, barreling up towards this bomb site. Salazar will be there to take the contact as well as Eli lands a big shot. Glock's trying to return the favour. A man advantage here for the CTs, but a fragile one as there really isn't so much health to work with. And the C4 is going to go down, so pressure now on. And no kit to work with. A pair of jewelries on Daitor, though, as the util's already been deployed. Nodios, Valde follow up with a trifecta. As Forsey takes one back, but team damage onto Mikey makes things all the easier for Valde to close things out and Trick to put that first on the board. So, fully go here for ECLOT. Kinda has to be. On Mac 10, that's on Leaks. Rest of the pistols in play. Daitor doubling up with that P250. Hang on a minute. What is going on here? An eco round that ECLOT had absolutely no business in winning. And not only do they do so, they do it in a flawless fashion. That is mental. And they're right back in the picture just like that. Tricked. How do they fumble there? Now, got to try and give ECLOT somewhat of a taste of their own medicine, but it's a little bit better. At least they have the force fire, the money. Not going to look great after this one if they can't convert it. Big pickups from the pistols. It's all onto Valde, left by himself. Trades were pretty perfect. Cleaned up nicely. So defuse will come through. ECLOT now take the lead.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Just the Glocks now, then. 2.5k in the bank, so a decent amount to work with in the next, but that's to come. Leaks, who had a monster game in the last. Starts things off with 0 frags as we go into round number 4. Here we go. Just straight into the meat grinder. MPQ will actually find himself an ace. It is just against the full eco, but that M4A4 just packing a nasty punch, and does sometimes feel like it comes easily with that weapon. He's done well to keep the spray controlled and not get overwhelmed, though. A 3-1 start. ECLOT losing the pistol, winning that subsequent eco. This ends up being a bit of a worst-case scenario for Tricked. Decent entry out of Salazar in this round, though. Mikey just tucked cart. All 5 of them grouped up here towards long. Tricked. Feel pretty committed to the cause of this A-bomb site. Mikey has to smoke this off. He'll sort of give up his position a little bit. Sometimes you do see the site player smoke off the car molly, just to give a little bit of an illusion. I'm not sure if Tricked will be anticipating that. Mikey's just going to keep lingering. Now he'll cross. Nice shot from Salazar. Only the head poking over. 4C couldn't connect to it. Yeah, re-molly into car. They're still really worried that Mikey's there. He isn't. He crossed a while ago. With Salazar already finding the double entry, they should be confident enough to just start to press forward. Mikey's actually gone all the way to the B site. He was playing car just a moment ago. He's backed it up to the max. 4v3. I'm kind of surprised with the way that ECLOT approached this. They've given up the A site. They're just going to go for the hard save. They will. It's kind of lame. Made the wrong call. End up giving it up. There'll be a second round here, though, for Tricked, and a better one, that's for sure. Salazar. His opening AWP shots. Yeah, doing some really big work.
Terrorists win.
All right, well, back in business. Round number 6, and it's a full buy from both sides. ECLOT did have a lot of money. They didn't necessarily need to save last round, but just trying to prioritize that economy. I think, you know, for the CT side here in CS2, managing that economy can be such a tough task at times. So, yeah, any kind of disadvantageous position, you do feel like you do need to save. So not to lose control of things. Valde elsewhere, though, has just cracked 2 heads. And this kind of puts this whole execute into question a little bit. ECLOT go from being pretty dead set, and then all of a sudden, you know, Valde's just cut off both of the aggressors there in B tons, and it all sort of goes wrong. And it feels like ECLOT aren't actually defending anything right now, right? It's, you know, they had a decent setup here on A. They've consistently given up this long control, which Tricked have just used and abused. They go for something a little innovative on B, it gets punished, and there's just no response out of them whatsoever. I know they're just in no man's land. They have no control over either bomb site. They're trying to save, but you know, you've got one sort of in CT spawn, you've got two in the B tons. It's such a mess. And it's just another pretty miserable round out of ECLOT, so Tricked will make it 3.
Terrorists win.
And you really can't help but feel that, yeah, we expect better here out of ECLOT. Flashbang into lower tons then. Tricked just being a little more meticulous with this one. It's bizarre. Again, look, they've given up the complete long control. And they've put 3 on B early. ECLOT just have, like, such a misread of the early round situations here. And Forsey, luckily this time, wins the fight with Salazar. Consistently, he's lost that opening fight. And then Tricked have just barreled up long. Once again, it's like he's the one man on the A bomb site. You got Eli aggressive on short, but you know, Forsey goes down without much of a fight. It doesn't really seem like there's much anyone else can do this time. He comes down with a nasty bite. Almost makes it a 4th or possibly even an ace. They lined up for a moment there. It's not going to matter all too much. He's done his job. He's done it beautifully. 3 kills should suffice. His teammates will just try and pick up the final pieces. Lots of damage dealt. Leak's not finished just yet. 7 HP. Yeah, that will only come in due time. Eli finishing off these final 2. And Leaks is yet to find a kill. Still, he's 0 and 7. Found a couple of assists, but it's actually been Valde and Salazar doing just about everything in these opening rounds. Those harder hitters. Maybe running out of steam. Leaks might need refueling. Might have a leak somewhere. He was so potent, so powerful on train. Felt like any time he was alive, things were doable. He was pulling off crazy clutches. He was making, you know, these very secure 1v3, 1v4 situations actually put us on the edge of our seat, bringing them down to 1v2s, 1v1s. He never felt safe while Leaks was alive. Right here seems to be a bit of a pacifist. MBQ. AWB this time towards B, and it's doing good work. It's absolutely brilliant there on the whole. Daitor follows up with a double. I love the versatility of MBQ Sniper. Moving around, getting out. That double AWP just means that you think, okay, well, the AWP's kind of anchoring there towards A. That's Forsey. Maybe if we play into B, we won't face that sniper. Little do they know. The money here for the CT side strong, and that second AWP will come out again. And I guess this becomes why. This becomes why ECLOT go for the saves in the 2 times that they do. Maintain control of that cash. It's one of the most important things. Commodity that can be scarce here in Counter-Strike. So flash out long. Eli just tucked behind the car. Those are the pistols are about to come into him. Nodios has got an AK. Just tucked behind this one. Mikey. In CT. Smoke will go down. HG to go the other way. Eli, a couple of nice headshots. The AWP shot will miss, so 4C under a bit of pressure and in a lot of trouble here. Does somehow manage to fight his way out, but overdoing it with the P250. It's all very sloppy. Salazar will find him with the Glock, but the trade is there. There we go. Yeah, pick up the second AWP, guys. I know you got money, but... Actually, I mean, with a couple of players on like 10, 12k, maybe holding on to that AK did make sense. They're both looking at each other going, I got an AK, I don't want it. The answer is no. We need that second AWP for B. MBQ. Oh. This time, not put to good use. And the boost is still in play as well. Are they going to spot Dieter grabbing that sniper? I'm not sure. But there's another boost elsewhere. It's up on short. It's going to be 4C to return the favor. Great flash in. Mikey with lots of damage. No kill, though. The incendiary shouldn't finish, but the HE will slam dunk onto Valde. Back into the 3-on-3. It's ECLOT chasing their tails, but still consistently bringing back these numbers. And Mikey delivering a second gives them the man advantage. Leaks and Queenix try and pull this one together. Both with a single kill to their tally at the start of this round. Leaks has doubled that up. And now it's Queenix. It's given a bit of a freebie onto Mikey. I don't like Force's approach to this. Yeah, this... Come on, 4C. We've seen this from him a few too many times. We saw it on train as well. It's a retake situation. There's rifles down. Look, as we kind of walk up to this, you can see there's an AK on the floor there to the right. There was another rifle on the doors. As a 3v2 retake, he needs to just swap out to a rifle and play with his teammates. The fact that he's kind of holding there from the CT spawn like, oh yeah, go on guys, you have a go at it. And if it doesn't work, I guess I'll have to save the AWP again then, no trouble. Like, I really, really dislike it. Especially with the amount of money that they have. If the AWP was like super, super valuable, then maybe a slightly different story. But that's such a winnable round if he just swaps to a gun and joins his teammates. Instead, they just play it one by one. Forces then left with no real relevance. Has to go and save the AWP. And it just feels a little half-assed. Either way, it's 6-4. They're in control. They want to try and maintain that. Not allow Tricks to bring this back to 7-5, maybe even 6-6. They an iron up an 8-4, and they won it. So it's MBQ and Dieter on the site. Last time we saw the hold from these two, it held up pretty nicely. And there it is again. 2 playing in front of the molly, 3 playing behind, and it's a nice little buff for a stopgap as they're dealt with. But the trade's the other way. It's Heidi from Nodios and Valde. 3v3, 4C. This time a little bit closer, but still with the AWP in hand. As the smokes go down, they need to try and activate here. The problem is, they just don't have the util. So Sat put first 2 in, and again, yeah, 4C just pulling the plug. It's the wrong gun. It's the wrong gun for the B retake. This time I'll cut him a little bit of slack, because there wasn't any immediately retrievable rifles to swap to, but it's just another round where B-site's lost. He can't play for it. He goes for the exit. Goes back and saves. Bizarrely, despite how many times we've seen 4C save, he's actually not even the one with the least deaths. Title with 4. Mikey with only 3 deaths as we go into round number 12. And this has been far from a one-sided game. It's 6-5 as it stands. Ooh, Salazar, where'd the bullet go? Feel bad for you, my friend. That felt like it should have connected, but... .50 cal bullet disappears into the void. Mikey. Oh. Okay, hang on a minute. The fire's cooking him. That smoke takes a little too long to be deployed. A second volley. It will be extinguished by the smoke. It doesn't matter. Salazar only able to go 1 for 1. The last up short. 4C with a double scope and deals with it nicely. So 7-5. ECLOT do just about pull ahead at the end. They don't allow Tricked anything more than 2 in a row. And yeah, not bad. Not bad stuff from them at all. But yeah, you can't help but feel there were a couple of scenarios there where you look at those rounds that were lost and they were all bomb explosions. Felt like in every single one of those rounds. In fact, it was every single one of those rounds. The first 2 were rounds where ECLOT took an early 2-man disadvantage. They found 1 kill back and then they saved in the 4v3. That happened twice in a row. And then we saw, obviously, those 2 4C rounds where, yeah, one was a 3v2 retake. First 2 died, 4C went and saved, and the second was a 3v3 retake. And first 2 died, 4C went and saved. So, yeah, you can't help but feel that all 4 of those rounds were somewhat winnable, and maybe ECLOT should have had a better ending to that half, a better overall scoreline in it, but Tricked holding on. And even with pieces not really firing, I mean, you look at the kill disparity, right? I think that sort of screams how somewhat one-sided this has been in terms of the gunfights and how many save rounds we've actually seen. Numbers not quite adding up here for Tricked. A couple of those harder hitters still down on the low single digits. 2 kills for Queenix, 3 for Leaks. And this pistol round, worth its weight in gold for both teams, but especially Tricked, who are on the back foot here. So 1 for 1 early. Puts it into a 4v4. This always favours the T side, or at least almost always favours them. Just thins out those defences a little bit. Spreads them more around the map. Valde. Big pickup with the USP. E-Live. Gonna start to dial it back a little bit. Mikey's just fallen. They need to be careful here. The bomb's by himself. That's E-Live further back. Daitor's gonna try and create a bit of space here on the A-bomb site. He does exactly that, Daitor. That is so crisp. The first was lightning fast. The second comes almost just as quick. As Daitor continues to spam away, Leaks struggling here under the pressure. Eli will finish it off. So, beautiful work being done there. ECLOT will recover that sinking ship in the pistol round. Make it 8-5. Keep that pressure applied. Remember the weight behind this game. This is a lower bracket playoffs match. The loser gets knocked out. The lower bracket quarters. We saw ECLOT have to forfeit their opening quarterfinal game against Incilio. They dropped down to the lower bracket. 9 Pandas had to forfeit theirs. Then in the lower bracket game between ECLOT and 9 Pandas, we saw another forfeit where 9 Pandas bowed out of the tournament, and ECLOT found themselves here. Tricked had to do it the hard way. They beat Leo, they lost to Sinners. It's all to play for now. We've got some serious teams left in the tournament here in the top 6. Big kill, Mikey. Those spams away. Dietor, Valde. Actually doubling up. Back into a 3-on-3. This MP9 looking pretty menacing. Let's take a bullet back. Eyeing up the scout, thinking maybe. Nah, not the right tool for the job here as he starts to walk up. On this A site, ECLOT still semi-indecisive. Leaks finds one more. That will certainly funnel them into this A site. And it's only Valde from range with an MP9 as well. Makes this a little bit tricky. Baits them in. And takes the fights up close. It's perfect. To follow it up. Yeah, looks at Leaks. Says, oh, well, you're not the man that I wanted to toss a rifle to. And Odios is elsewhere. But a big round back. That's going to put them right back in the equation here. HE into mid. Valde going to follow up. This is a low buy, but one that everything's invested into. It is just the pistols, though. Can someone tell you how many headshot Elive have? Got a headshot TV, man. Or, the next time the camera's on him, it says his headshot percentage. You can do the maths. I'll do it with you. He's got 12 kills. It's an even number. It should be nice and easy. It blows my mind when people say, what do you mean? How is anybody betting on CS that doesn't know what HLTV is? This is like... This is insane to me. Anyway. 3v3. Bomb down, ticking away. It seems like Trick don't even want to touch it. Salazar's got that AWP, and it feels like just a little too expensive of an asset to lose. Thanks, Blackjack Crazy. Right, come on then, Observer. Let's go look at the E-Live. He did get a kill that round. Oh, look, there we go. 69% headshot, 13 kills. So what's that? Is that 9 headshots, I think? That sounds about right, doesn't it? It's either 8 or 9. I think it's 9. Oh. Salazar and Leaks. Shutting things down there in mid. Keeping Tricks relevant. They're still just chasing their tail on the back foot, but... Every now and again when they need to poke and prod. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is so troll. That is so troll. I'm not even sure we can do anything about that because damage was dealt and stuff. I think they might just have to bite the bullet with that. Are they on boot camp? They must be. Just like a power cut or something? Oh, shit. They had a 2-man advantage in the round as well. I've actually never seen that before. It's got to have been a power cut. It's got to have been a power cut. Ay. I feel sorry for I feel sorry for you guys that have bets on when stuff like that happens. It's really like, you know, I get told don't sympathize with the angry bettors in chat, but no, I feel it. I feel it. When you have a bet on and some kind of crazy act of God like that happens, and it's like, oh man, that is not fair. But I don't know. I don't think they will replay the round. I don't know. It depends what caused it. It depends what caused it. If it was their, like, power cut or something, if they're on boot camp and it was, like, their power cut, then yeah, I don't think we replay the round unless ECLOT say that they're okay with it, because obviously damage was dealt and whatnot. If it was, like, server issues or something, then maybe the round would be replayed, but I don't think that makes any sense to be the case if ECLOT didn't have any problems. But yeah, I think ECLOT have the opportunity to allow the round to be replayed. Okay. Yeah, I think ECLOT have the opportunity to say if they're happy for the round to be replayed, but you know, like, rules are the rules, so there's no necessary reason for them to do that. I'm not 100% sure. That's just me sort of speculating based on other tournament rules. I'm not 100% sure what the rules are here.